legendary and asterisk initial D asterisk. There's an iconic JDM hero car. It's the ride of a Kitani Kuichiro, the Nissan S13. And today, that same legendary drift machine, the Nissan S13 Silvia, is being unloaded from a trailer by Mike. He'd been hunting for one of these for a while, before he finally tracked this one down. The previous owner actually planned to build it out, but just never found the time. The project stalled, and it ended up sitting for several years. Eventually, he had no choice but to sell it, and because of that, Mike was able to score it for the crazy low price of just $4,600. The crew carefully pushes the shell into the garage. The car is completely disassembled. All the parts came in boxes along with the body. The interior is packed with parts the old owner collected. First step is to get everything out and take inventory. Parts are literally covering the entire floor, since Mike already has a dedicated drift car. His plan for this S13 is different. He wants to build it back to a clean, factory-spec look, but with a street-style vibe. The guys get the car up on the lift to check out the undercarriage. He was expecting to find a ton of rust, but after a thorough look, it seems the previous owner had already undercoated the entire chassis. It's in surprisingly great condition. That's going to save them a massive headache. As for the parts that came with the car, Mike isn't planning on using all of them. For example, the shocks. He'd much rather go with a set of coilovers. And other parts, like these brake rotors, have been sitting for way too long. They're covered in a thick layer of surface rust. These will definitely be replaced with brand new parts. No time to waste. The guys immediately get the wheels off and start cleaning the rust off the suspension components. Then, they get ready to bolt them onto the car. Since these are old stock parts, they've got some inevitable rust that needs to be cleaned up. After that, they throw on some temporary wheels. Now the whole car is sitting a lot lower than before. This is exactly the look Mike was going for. Besides the parts that came with the car, Mike and the crew went out and sourced some other necessary bits themselves. Bringing them back to the shop, they mainly grabbed some interior plastic panels, the rear seats, weather stripping, and so on. In the back of this other car, they've got the bumper, hood, headlights, and other exterior pieces. To make sure everything fits right, they're going to do a quick test fit on the car. If anything doesn't line up, they can sort it out now. But looking at the results of the mock-up, everyone is pretty happy with how these exterior parts fit. As for the interior parts they needed, who knows where they dug these up from? But they are absolutely covered in dust, so they're gonna need a serious deep clean before they go in. Likewise, the inside of the car needs a good vacuuming first. Then they can start test fitting the parts they sourced. The original plan was to pull the steering wheel, instrument cluster, and dash, but what they thought would be an easy job nearly drove them insane. After struggling for over half an hour, they still couldn't get it off. But hey, at least they managed to wrestle the carpet into place. Next up, the rear seats. As soon as they're in, the guys immediately flop down for a break. After a quick rest, they install the center console components. So far, they're just getting some of the basic interior pieces in, so it doesn't feel like just an empty shell anymore. Next step, installing the brake rotors and calipers. They're not using those rusty old parts. Everything is being replaced with brand new components, including the brake pads and all the mounting hardware. Meanwhile, packages are constantly arriving at the shop. Most of them contain the missing parts for the S13. To save money, a lot of them are used parts sourced online. Another reason is that brand new parts for a car this old are just hard to find. Things like the brake master cylinder and clutch master cylinder had to be sourced used. Mike's main goal for today is to get that steering wheel off, no matter what. So, he's just wailing on it, trying everything. Finally, brute force and ignorance pays off. He successfully yanks the steering wheel off, and on goes the new wheel he had ready. Later, he takes a trip over to his buddy's place and manages to snag some more body panels for free. Back at the shop, it's time to tackle the bodywork. Mike's starting with the fenders. He's not a fan of these flared out arches. Besides that, there are still a lot of small imperfections on the body that need fixing, especially the trunk lid. It's super rough. It's also got holes drilled in it from a previous wing. So the first step is to sand it all down, then weld up the holes to repair it. That free wing he got from his friend earlier, he test fits it, and it's a perfect match. As for the engine bay, it looks brand new. But that's only because the previous owner sprayed a layer of metallic paint over everything. It's hiding a ton of unnecessary small holes. Some areas are also slightly dented and bent. Where the paint is peeling, you can see what it looked like underneath. Mike and the crew sand down this layer of primer. Then mark all the holes that need to be filled. Again, they're using a welder to patch them up. The last time they did a bunch of sanding, dust got everywhere. So this time, they made sure to cover up the other cars in the shop. First, a layer of epoxy primer goes down. While that's drying, he starts cutting off those unwanted fender flares. Based on photos from fans, this section is clearly about 2 centimeters shorter than the stock fender. That means he'll have to weld in a patch to fill that gap later. Back to the engine bay. Mike starts using body filler to smooth out some of the dents. Once it's dry and hard, he'll sand it smooth. A few days later, a package arrives. Inside are the stock fenders he needed. These parts came from a fan's Nissan S13. He saved them before the car was scrapped. Talk about a lucky break for Mike. So the next job is to weld these onto the car. He brought in a professional for the welding. He's just responsible for smoothing out the welds. After rounds of filling and sanding, it's starting to look exactly how he wants it. Speak of the devil, 2 more boxes show up. Inside are the engine mounts he ordered, and a brand new set of side mirrors, since a lot of parts still haven't arrived. Mike needs to map out the next steps of the build, so he doesn't mess up the workflow. After a week-long break, just as he's about to paint the engine bay, his buddy drops off the wheels. They're used, but they look to be in excellent condition. He actually bought a set of 6. The reason, the seller was selling all 6 together. He's already got the tires for them ready to go, so he can mount them up and see how they look on the car. Back in the engine bay, after cleaning out all the dust, it's time to mix up the paint and start spraying. For the color, Mike chose a subtle seafoam green. It's a clear nod to the 2-tone paint scheme from * initial D*. After the base coat, it gets a layer of clear coat. Painting the engine bay is something the guys can easily handle themselves, and after it's dried, the result looks fantastic. Meanwhile, the engine has been cleaned up. Mike also discovered the original transmission was shot, so he sourced another one. The casing on this one looks pretty rough, so he plans to swap the cleaner casing from the old one onto it. He's also got the matching clutch ready to go. Cracking open the old transmission before dropping the engine into the bay, Mike pulls off the valve cover. The color doesn't match the engine bay at all. This is also a good opportunity to replace the gasket. The good news is, the inside of the engine looks super clean. He gives the cover a good sanding, and then sprays it with the same paint as the engine bay. Meanwhile, his buddies are already busy mating the engine and transmission. Soon, everything is ready to go. Now, it's finally time to drop it into the engine bay. As for the exterior bodywork, areas with major issues, like the trunk lid, get another round of sanding and filling. There's not a single dent left on the entire body. Next, it gets a full coat of primer. They'll just let it air dry in the shop. 2 days later, Mike comes back with some new reclining bucket seats he scored. He got them for a great price, but he's not a fan of the brown inserts, so he'll have to get those reupholstered later. For now, the priority is to test fit them in the car. Another new arrival is the custom exhaust manifold. They can go ahead and bolt that on. As for other things, like the intercooler piping to the turbo, the guys will have to fabricate that by hand. They've also got new brake lines, which they immediately install on the car. Thanks to everyone's hard work, the car is finally ready for its first start. He turns the key, and the engine is paid fire. All that hard work has finally paid off. Next is rebuilding the cooling system. After some adjustments, the headlights are working properly too. After that, more and more packages start to arrive. In these 2 massive boxes is the full exterior body kit. As soon as it arrived, the guys do a temporary test fit on the car. Even though all the colors are mismatched, and it looks like a total Frankenstein car right now, you can't deny, with the full kit on, the whole vibe of the car has completely changed. And the seats with the new custom inserts have arrived. That pattern is definitely the choice, a little on the wild side, But hey, to each their own. Different strokes for different folks. Another package also arrived today. It's a suspension lift cup system. It installs on top of the coilovers. Because this car is going to be extremely low when it's done, this system will allow him to raise the car whenever he needs to, so it won't be a nightmare for daily driving. Before installing that, they need to get the drift shaft installed. And then, for the first time, let the car move under its own power. And fortunately, the front bumper paid the price. At this point, the interior is mostly buttoned up. So the next day, taking advantage of some rare good weather, Mike finally drives the car out of the garage for the first time, letting it soak up the sun. It just hits different seeing it out in the open. Inside the already wild interior, he's added an even wilder checkerboard floor mat. Some of the interior panels aren't fully secured yet. That's because next, he plans to send the car off to get painted. Early the next morning, before the sun is even up, Mike is already on the road, towing his Nissan S13 to a workshop hundreds of miles away. This is where the car's exterior will get its final transformation. Before any paint is sprayed, the entire car needs a thorough cleaning, inside and out. Then, they remove the exterior body kit to prep each piece individually, getting it ready for paint. They're sent into the paint booth for primer. Meanwhile, the car's body is being masked off. There are still some imperfections, so it needs one last round of detailed bodywork. Then it's time to mix the paint. They're doing their best to match the color he envisioned perfectly. The car isn't being painted just one solid color. Parts like the side skirts are being painted gray, while the main body is getting that same light green as the engine bay. There's also a black pinstripe between the two colors, so the painting process is a bit complex. But this color choice is a perfect match to the Denim car. The crew has been here for a week now, and the paint job is finally in its final stages. Next is reassembling all the exterior parts, like the doors, side mirrors, etc., back onto the freshly painted body. They didn't install the rear wing yet, and they forgot to bring the bolts for the lower part of the front bumper. But other than that, the car is fully assembled. In Mike's own words, this Nissan S13 now looks like it drove straight out of the Denim. And seeing it out in the sunlight, it just looks even better. The remaining small details will have to wait until they get back to their own shop. Soon, the car is back in their garage. Mike makes a punch list of the remaining tasks. Once these are done, it'll mark the official completion of this build. First up is building the car's full exhaust system. Then, mounting the rear wing. Just those two jobs took the guys an entire day. After that, they fill the car with the necessary oil and coolant. But this time, when they try to start the engine, it fails to start. They hear a strange popping noise coming from the turbo. Clearly, something inside is broken. The only way to find out is to pull it off and take it apart. Long story short, the turbo needs to be replaced. While they're waiting for the new turbo, Mike finally remembers to install the suspension lift cups. After mounting them to the top of the coilovers, they just need to set up the compressor inside the car, and it's done. After a quick test, it works perfectly. Those few centimeters of lift are more than enough for daily driving. And right on cue, his buddy arrives with the new turbo. The guys quickly get it installed on the car. Time to start the engine again. This time, no more drama. It sounds much healthier than before. Taking advantage of the nice weather today, Mike fills the car with fresh gas and drives it out of the garage. Even though there are still some small details to sort out, he can't wait to take it for a test drive. Soon, the guys are cruising around the neighborhood, checking to see if there are any issues while driving. Since the car isn't registered yet, they don't go too far. They just snap some photos on the nearby streets. After half an hour, they head back to the garage, because he still needs to put on the new wheels and tires. This is the set Mike painstakingly picked out. Once they're on the car, there's no gap at all. The fitment is perfect, flush with the fender line. A few days later, the car is successfully registered and plated. That means it's now officially street legal. But before hitting the road, there's one last thing to do. His buddy sent him 3 different steering wheels. Mike has to choose one. He opens the box. And inside are 3 wheels with completely different styles and colors. Some are retro, some are flashy. In the end, Mike chooses the simplest, most understated one. He feels it matches the car's vibe the best. More importantly, it's more durable and won't get dirty easily. For the rest of the time, it's just about buttoning up the last few details on the car. And at this point, we can say that the restoration of this classic Nissan S13 is complete. So let's see how it performs on the road. And that brings us to the end of the video. In the end, Mike did a quick calculation of the costs, from buying the car itself to the fully completed build. All the expenses added up, totaling $27,500. So what do you guys think of this Nissan S13 build? Let us know in the comments below. See you in the next one.